Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing out there? This is Intergalactic Interviews, and this is episode 134. How are you, folks? Are you doing good? Hey, how was your time since I last spoke to you? Since you last heard this voice, did you have an epic, eventful weekend like I did? It was pretty good. I basically have been swimming in Jack Daniels. It's fantastic. Take your time and assess how much Jack Daniels that would be. Ladies and gentlemen, I have in our presence today. TV, commercial, film's own.
Don't forget TV movies.
TV movie, which is a different thing, folks.
Yeah.
I have TV film, stage, comedies own. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our friend of the show and a very funny guy, one of our very good friends. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Kwasi Thomas.
Finally.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show our angriest guest of all time. He's
mad at you, man.
He's perturbed that we have gentlemen like Alex Sparling on. More
I'm only here because Sparling's getting his freaking eyes rotated or whatever the fuck. However the hell that works. I know that. Jiffy Lube in his face.
Dude, Jesus. 30 minutes or it's free. You fuck. All right, how are you?
They're trying to upsell him on a personality injection.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
This is aggressive from the start.
Yo, it's only okay because that's my brother, man.
I love Sparling, man. I think we all love him.
Fuck Sparling.
Dude. Did you watch the
fuck Steve McGowan too?
Yeah, did you watch our Fuck Steve McGowan campaign?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't support the show at all.
I mean, that's a valid move.
I don't know.
That's funny. Well, reality is like Sparling had a motherfucking hell of a good line in there. He was like, Steve McGowan, suck your own dick with your own mouth. Like it was, I have never heard that eloquently put so well. And then Steve's reaction to that was, oh, Sparling meant that shit.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So good. Obviously, he was fucking around. I don't know.
No doubt.
Oh wait, you think Sparling was serious?
No, I know he wasn't, man.
Call.
It's all love. It's all love.
Let's get real.
Sparling's like he's the one-liner king, man. I know it's all love.
Sparling is so good, man. I think
I hate you though.
He's a funny dude, but I love the fake rivalry that we have when you guys aren't on the show.
We gotta breed more. We gotta do that more, I think. So.
Yeah. My man, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm good.
Congrats to you on the Twizzlers campaign.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? I just realized I was wearing this shirt on it. That's how ghetto commercials can be sometimes. They're like, "Can you just bring a shirt?"
Yeah, it wasn't
any
even a wardrobe.
Shirt. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There was no wardrobe.
No,
that was it.
No. That's why they're able to pay out so well because they don't have a wardrobe budget. They're just like, yeah, that's clean. You're in.
I love
as long as there's not like open stains.
Yeah.
No, I love the idea though that like
I don't do stains, man.
Oh,
that's
true,
right. This guy doesn't do
man.
stains. How dare you? How you even
no stains, Thomas?
Yo, that's what they used to call him.
Call me no stains in the streets.
Yo, how did you know his 17th rap name? How did you know that? Kwasi though, man, I'm very proud of you from a distance. I'm very proud of you in person.
Thank you, man.
I think it's awesome. Every time I talk to you, you're always growing, doing your thing.
That's all I want for myself and for others and the people that I love and the people I care about. It doesn't matter what your hustle is, as long as you're better off than the year before.
That's right.
And I try to always have something new whenever I see you and come do the show, because that's progression.
Right, man.
Right? And all I want is for my people to progress.
And see, you can look back at all the episodes you're in, and you can look and say like, look at this progression. Here I was talking about doing this. Here I was this. Like these are like little miniature time capsules, really. You know?
Yeah.
Like there's this large body of work, but then like if you really break it down individually to the guests, if you're a repeat guest like yourself, you come on, you get to see all these different like little facets of growth. I think that's beautiful.
One more time on the show a repeat guest. Is that
get the fuck out of here?
Is that how that works?
Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I don't technically, but like, is like 2 times on the show?
Dude,
I was just
telling Kwasi that I was like, you're the only guest I've ever had in history on the show that we've ever had that we did back to back. You did 98 and 99 back together.
No, you were like, dude, you were on 99 and 98. I was like, man, like those are not commemorative numbers.
No.
What happened to 99 and 100?
They're almost commemorative.
Everyone was
waiting. Really close.
Everyone was waiting.
It's like a birthday pie. Instead of
birthday pie.
Hey, pie is better than cake. Real talk.
Hold up, C-Mart with your blasphemous bullshit. We're talking about pies are better than cake. What kind of
Better-
pie is better
Better to
than
get the
cake?
cake you asked
Strawberry
for.
rhubarb pie.
What? Hold up. What do you?
You
What kind of?
700 years
What
old?
the fuck?
Strawberry
Rhubarb pie.
rhubarb?
Have you had one lately?
Yeah. Why do you think I'm hating, man? Strawberry rhubarb.
What's
The
your
fuck?
preferred pie then?
I'm an apple pie guy.
All right.
I'm an apple pie to the
Traditionalist.
definitely. Yeah.
I'm like
Fair
a.
enough, man.
I'm like a DQ treatza.
I don't like the crumbly shits, man. Give me a nice solid crust. You know? I
Yeah,
don't
but
like
that's
crumbles.
the same. I mean, apple pie and strawberry rhubarb are the same family. Same family of pie.
Yeah, like rabbits and deer are the same family.
Oh my lord.
Get the fuck.
Mammals, both mammals.
Oh my god.
Dude. All right, enough about your fucked up
Alright.
ideas on
birthday pie.
on pastries and
Glad
shit.
I'm glad I missed this last one.
That's right. How dare you? No, man, but it's good to see you doing well.
You too, man.
I was just, I gotta ask you something.
Yes.
This is like in the face of so much perceived success right now, right? I know how that goes. I know.
I'm so.
When you're up, you're
like
up.
knock on wood about that word. You know, I've been working and
you're blessed like that.
opportunities
Yeah.
have been consistent. That's the safe word to use.
All right, let me rephrase it then. So in a period of upswing where opportunities are in abundance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How about that? We rolled that.
Yeah.
Sometimes the focus is just to like kind of focus on that. But I got a question for you. I wanted to ask you this the second you agreed to come do the show is what was like the last like seriously humbling moment you went through like in your career? Like humbling, like something where you're like
Humbling
man,
in a positive way or humbling in a you ain't shit yet way?
your own decision.
I know. I mean, humbling is humbling, but
No,
like,
maybe not like you ain't shit, but like if that's how you feel at the end, whatever. That's not for me to decide. But like your own decision. Like what is a feeling that came out of that? The last time, do you have something you recall?
You know what? I worked on towards the end of last year, maybe not even that late, but I would say like maybe October, November last year.
Right.
I worked a couple days on the show that's coming out on Netflix in 2018 or maybe late 2017 called Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I've been on set before. I've worked on a bunch of stuff before, and it's always been like, bop, bop, bop. Oh, that's great. We'll make it happen. You take a few takes, and you know they're gonna pick the best. But I was on this set. We worked on. Oh man, I'm wondering. I'm feeling deja vu. I hope I didn't actually bring this up last time, because I don't think it's been that long since I've been on the show.
What's up?
But anyways, we worked on.
I'll tell you, man.
One scene, right? We worked on one scene for 14 hours.
Ooh.
That was like, we don't care how much this costs, we're getting it right.
Okay.
How long was the scene?
The scene, probably a minute.
Okay.
No lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, probably a minute.
Diminishing returns then.
Oh man, like if you're talking, it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean diminishing returns?
Well, like the
money-wise,
longer you
or-
focus on it, like you're like,
All right.
what's the value?
Oh,
Anyway.
the value is perfection.
Oh, nice.
The value
Nice.
is being
Yeah,
a
yeah.
part of something that's gonna be perfection when you see it.
Yes.
And you know it is. You walk away knowing that it is, as opposed to some of the other things that I've worked on where it's just like, I guess they'll pick the
Yeah.
best that we did
Yeah, I
and
see.
kind of
So-
move on from there, you know?
So you're like 14 hours deep in the scene.
And yeah, man, and I honestly just, because it's what I want to be doing with my life, you know,
Right.
I could have gone another 14 if they said we had to, you know? So humbled in the sense that, okay, I'm finally a part of a bigger program here, and they actually trusted me to be a part of this thing that they're not going to not do unless it's right.
Right.
And so I felt humbled in a positive sense that I was a part of it and that they trusted me with the part that they gave me and whatnot. So I was like, on a positive note, I would say that would be probably like my latest experience.
Oh, wow. And that's like the responsibility that comes with that.
Well, yeah, right? Because after a certain while, they can't be like, yeah, this guy's not the guy. We got to find someone else. They can't do it. You're the guy. It doesn't matter how big or small the part is, right? So I would definitely say that. I could also actually, I could put that in as far as stand-up goes. You know, like I always try to big up the younger cats in the comedy game right now. And honestly, to use the word again, I am being humbled by how much work and how hungry the new cats are. The younger cats, not even brand new, just the younger cats that are out there, and they're getting their first swing at JFL, and they're getting their first swing at all these festivals and stuff like that.
Right.
Just to see how hard they go to make sure that what they want they get. You know, I'm actually, it's kind of putting me in my place. Like, yo, just because you've been around for a bit doesn't mean you can lay back. You know,
that could be a very beautiful
I'll say
thing,
that, man. I'll say that. Much love to the youngins on the scene and everything. You know?
Yeah, well, that could be a very beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it can let you take real good inventory.
As long as you're willing to learn, as long as you're willing to stand there and accept what's happening and like take it as a light to be like, yeah, I should move. I should gotta keep hustling. You know?
Yeah, dude.
So,
I am definitely I resonate with that. I think. You know, a lot of the dudes I'm working with, like, hey, you remember me playing you the Ryan Morissette stuff last time? One of the last times we hung out.
Oh my God!
So Ryan Morissette is a very talented dude. You probably heard us talk about him on the episode with Zach Vran, who's one of his best friends, and he was really bigging up Ryan's work and the stuff we've been working together. And I played some records, some of the masters for Kwasi one of the last times we hung out, and dude. It was like a ripple in the room. Like it was a strong reaction. Everyone was like, dude, this is fucking crazy. It's really good, you know? And I'm really excited to see that. And he's a young guy, man. Like he's a lot younger than us, you know? Yeah, he's like...
He was like 20 when we did that track? Maybe 19
21
when
maybe?
the 3 of us did
21,
that track together?
Yeah. And so like I know release structures. People that listen at home, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, you record it that week, you release it that week. Yeah, ideally, that'd be cool. But the reality is like sometimes shit just gets shuffled around. People's schedules, people shooting films and stuff like that. Like, what are you going to do?
I would say on average that's not the case.
It's not the case.
Yeah, to like
didn't you make a case?
Yeah, well, no, I
didn't you make a case to me earlier, like weeks ago, though?
That you should do it that way. But I don't think that artists are happy to do that. Not on average. I think a lot of people like to like really refine and understand the project, even though I think it's better to just like get it out there as soon as possible.
Right.
You're definitely not wrong about that. I think there's something to be said about it's like this huge pipe now. This giant, like, it's just pouring out all types of content all the time. Yeah. It's too much to almost get in front of, you know, like
which is good and bad, really. Right. You know, like there used to be like an automatic, what's the word? Like an automatic sift. You know, it's like if you weren't hot, you weren't getting through to anyone.
Right.
But now everyone's getting through to and it's just so much material. Doesn't matter what genre of music.
Right.
You know. Like acting, comedy, there's just so much coming at all of us.
It's almost too much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, we had a great conversation. We were having a drink a little while back, and you were telling me, yo, I got this spot coming up. I did this part in this like CW series.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it was No Tomorrow.
No Tomorrow, right?
I got a guest spot, a guest starring role.
Starring
role.
That
was the biggest credit I've received thus far. It was pretty cool.
And that it's such a good look, right? And then I remember, like, you literally took a sip of your drink while you're telling me, and then you're like, yo, but what a weird time to live in. You're like, I could have like this feature, like amazing, excellent credit. But then I still have to explain the show sometimes to people.
Yeah.
And that's the fucked up thing, dude.
There's
like
so much out there, you know?
But like, we all remember a time, like it's not too long ago, 10, 15 years ago, right? You can remember a time where it's like, oh, you're doing, you know, because there was only so many shows.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, you have a featured spot on this, what the fuck, really?
Like, yeah, dude, I was seeing it, you know, one way or another it was finding me, but not so much, man.
The kind of thing that like straight up, like when they intro you at the club and they're trying to like pull you up, and then when they bring you up on stage, the first thing they do is they run like your first like 3 major credits or whatever. Right?
What they do now? Is,
what do they do for you now?
This guy's been around a while. You know,
noted grinder.
Right? Yeah. Oh, he's been in the game for a minute now. He's also an actor. Put your hands together, because it's just like you could name the credits, but it wouldn't really up my profile on the day, like in that exact moment, you know.
One of the last times I saw you live, I think the MC said, you may recognize him from a shitload of commercials.
Yeah, I know. And at the time, I'd probably done 2, you know. But it's like, so I mean, it's just for me, you know. Like it's the work I want to do. Yeah. I'm not looking for anyone to be like, I watch all the shows you're on, because it's too much. You can't keep track of it.
No.
But whoever sees what I do, as long as they enjoy it, and as long as they can respect the art form and the work that goes into 30 seconds to 2 minutes of television, if you can respect that, then my job's done, you know. And I appreciate people that will say, oh yeah, I saw you on that, or aren't you the guy that I appreciate it. But not everyone is seeing, like, almost it's closer to no one is seeing what I'm doing versus everyone is seeing what I'm doing, you know. It's really strange that way. But you just have your couple of shows that you watch, and I'm either on it or not, you know.
It's weird, man. It's kind of like when MP3 players and digital media devices first started blowing up. You had this weird sudden, like it was an extreme explosion of people that wanted to like check out new music, of course. Yeah. But then you also started to get these pockets of people that are like, I only listen to this, and now I finally have control of it, and I don't have to listen to new shit because I don't have to. You get that, and I think in television, I don't know if it's the fact that like people have been paying through the nose for so long that finally it's like some of it is being taken back. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some of that is like the efforts that are involved with people when they curate their own television and film list is like pretty. It's almost more significant than their music.
I mean, I find. People are doing that with everything, right? Music.
Do you think it's the length of time though? Like because like here's the thing, like you maybe don't care as much about the music because like a 3-minute song will be over in 3 minutes.
I think everybody just wants what they just want. In one way or another. Like you're not gonna get that when you walk out of your house and go to work. You know, like all kinds of shit are gonna fall out of the sky in your day to day. But people just want to control what they can control. And the way all media is presented to us now, you can finally have some control over some aspect of your life. Yeah. You know, even if it's just a playlist. Yeah. You know.
No, you're right about that.
You're not listening to the fucking bullshit on the radio that they say is hot in the streets right now. You know, it's like, oh, that's my favorite song.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't have to anymore.
Did you have someone growing up that was that guy for you? Was the playlist guy? Or were you that role?
No, man. I grew up way too in church to have that influence. Like only playlist.
Were you not allowed secular music?
No, not that at much. All. I remember like I slowly but surely I started like borrowing CDs and collecting stuff, and my mom found that one day and tossed it out.
Really?
Yeah, no joke, dude.
Really?
No joke. It wasn't. I finally was able to start making my own playlists and discover what it is that I like in the arts world. I was probably like, I guess when I started doing comedy, 19, 20 years old, when I started doing comedy,
Damn.
I was like, finally I can pick and choose. And that cost me moving out of the house. That cost me the relationship with my family and stuff like that. But it's like, at some point, self-preservation, in whatever way you want to decide, like it kicks in, you know.
I didn't know that about you, man. How long have we been friends? I didn't know that about you.
I didn't really start building myself and building the amazing person who I am today. I didn't really start building that guy till I was like 20, 21, you know, and I found comedy. Comedy found me, however you want to put it, and that was like the catalyst for everything else I've become thus far.
Do you think back to the time before you had the secular influences? Do you look back on that fondly?
No.
At all?
No. I look back on it as a time of fear in my life.
Fear.
Now that I know what freedom is and what, you know, I mean, life is just basically decisions and dealing with the consequences of said decisions, good or bad, right? Consequences isn't a bad word. It's just what happens after you've decided to do something.
Right.
And to answer your question, no, I look back on that time as wow, I was just afraid. I was afraid to upset my mom. I was afraid to upset God. I was afraid to upset. There were so many people in my life that I had to keep not upset. And I just look back on those days as just a time of fear and a time of stunted growth, you know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I actually, you know, like, you know that my dad's a pastor.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
But like, that's late in the game. People that have been listening for a long time on the show may know what I'm talking about. But my father became a pastor shortly after he had an accident about 15, 16 years ago. And he didn't start right away to pastor. He was only ordained 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago. So this is still like pretty new.
But he was still like carrying
very church
messaging. And,
very church involved. And my mother was always involved. And so like before that though, I was very inundated with like Bible camps and things like that. And
been there.
So I have like a pretty well-rounded, you know, idea of this kind of like thing. And I remember my mom like throwing out video games and stuff like that I would play, or like just straight up deleting them or whatever from the computer, because like I remember, you know, there's this old game from I think it was made by Origin or something like that, but this game Ultima the Ultima series. Well, Ultima 8 was called Pagan. It was like there was eight of these games,
and that's a non-church word.
Right. Not only is it not a church
specifically. Witches.
Yeah. Not only is it
and demons and sorcerers.
Yeah. Not only is it a non-church word, but there's a pentagram on the cover.
Of course.
And and so it was one of the best games I ever played. But here I had to like constantly defend it and explain it. But I remember going to Bible camps and them saying like, there's no secular music allowed here. And if you use your voice, use it to praise God. And I remember thinking like how restrictive that felt.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was very, very strange.
Exactly what it was.
It's very strange.
You can only grow in one direction with that chokehold around you. And I mean that's the negative side of it. I want to be clear. Like religion and faith and all of that, it's what was that? Spirituality. That's all an individual thing. No one can take your belief in whatever it is you believe in away, but your faith system, your belief system should not stunt your growth as a human being.
Ever. No.
Functional member of society.
I agree with that. No, and that's
all. That I want to be clear to whoever's listening that I'm not.
I think it's intended to kind of grow you in general, right? Like,
yeah.
I think you can find not with particularly like with faith or all the time, but I think that like spirituality in general can be a good. Like a good influence to like understand like your place in this fucking universe, right?
Right?
Yeah.
None of us are walking down the street like with absolutely no faith in anything, as minute as it might be. So faith and a belief in something that may or may not be true is very powerful and very, very comforting, right? And that's what it should be used as, but not as a system of
oppression,
not as a system of holding anyone
or a
down
vehicle of indoctrination or whatever.
I go a bit farther even, and I say that like
that's why I say spirituality specifically, to separate it from a method versus the end goal. Like you can be spiritual and you can be independently.
It's a tool.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like I go a bit farther in that like I don't appreciate when religion is used to shape public policy, because that's so ridiculous. That's one of the worst things that religion brings to the table, is that you have people that
it's an ancient form of government, right?
Hold on. You have people that are responsible for millions of people at times, and they're using antiquated.
They're using fear-based. You can use all the words
control measures. Yeah,
it's fear.
But it's government, right?
They're using fear
to
control
but I'm
people.
I'm just saying. You know what? Democracy's a fucking old concept. That's a pretty old concept.
Sure. Yeah.
But when it's poisoned by things like organized religion, whatever religion, it doesn't matter which one.
It doesn't matter.
That's where I take strong issues, because like you have policy being generated for millions of different types of people, millions of different types of faiths. It's very difficult for me to say like, this one's got it. Like there's a major issue in North America where the predominant politics of the day are Judeo-Christian politics. Like that's and I say Judeo just to throw that in there.
It's laughable if you think about it. It's like,
strange.
What year? Where do you think you are? What year do you think this is?
Do you know like they said?
But there's regression in some of the policies they come up with is like, what is this? The Book of Job, chapter 2.
Do you know?
Get the hell out of here!
Do you know they said when Trump won the not the primary, but before when he won the primary, they were saying the only thing that he could fuck up at this point, when they were going into it, they're like, because he's been on such a roll. One of the things I read about it was they were saying he would have to claim atheism as his household religion for there to be
truly separate,
to like really break away. And I thought about that for a second. I'm like, man, has there ever been an atheist leader in North America? Not even close, right?
I don't know, maybe not.
There's never even been anyone in the front running.
I can't claim that.
In fact, if my history is correct, the only non-Protestant they've had in the White House was Kennedy. He was Catholic. He was raised Catholic, right? I apologize if I'm off on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Allegedly.
The only, right, you're right.
Has it only been WASPs in there, you think?
Yup.
It's a pretty waspy fact. That's pretty fucked up.
If that's pretty crazy.
Allegedly.
But
anyway. I don't know. Here's my thoughts on this, is that there's there's this weird awakening that's occurred in the past like 10, 15 years. A lot of really strong-willed academics that have really brought to the forefront a lot of the issues concerning organized religion. Some of them have passed away in the last few years, and some of them are stepping up in their place. But the idea being that like there's choices finally. You don't have to just roll with this non-secular, monotheistic idea.
Yeah.
Is that true though?
What do you mean?
Well, the thing is, it's true in the sense that there
have
always been choice.
Yeah, hold on. No, what are you saying?
What I mean is that I think we're observing, like, in general, a regression of, like, we're going back to, like, more religious values.
Now we are.
Like, the conservatism is on the rise. And conservatism
only as a
generally is rooted...
It's only a pushback to the massive pendulum swing of PC culture in the last 2 years. I think that like,
and this was bound to happen because for the last generation, for the last generations, it's been, oh, you're a precious snowflake, oh, you're someone special, you're different than everyone else, and now, unfortunately, in the way it's being presented, but the pendulum is swinging back, where it's like, daddy's home, you ain't shit,
That's right, yeah.
And
I think C-Mart's onto something though a little bit. Like you both are right about that. Yeah, I think C-Mart when he says, is there, is that true? Like, I think that's the weird thing. The fear comes back.
Like the idea of like
fear
so
that it's
globalism,
not going to swing back.
Like globalism is on the rise, and as a direct response, conservatism is also meeting it. Like people are afraid of like one world government. People are afraid of like large, like organized things. Even though, like, hey, do you like Star Trek? How do you think you get Star Trek if you don't have a planetary government? Like you need,
I get
like
it.
These are important concepts.
No, I get it.
Like
but
if we wanted to combine as a human society, we all need to be humans in a society, not nationals, not. Patriot.
That all starts with whoever's in charge acknowledging that we're all humans.
But religion, is an easy way to silo oneself away from your peers or from your group, right? Yeah. And it's an easy one. It goes beyond race at this point. Which isn't the easiest of them.
You put two humans in a room, since the dawn of time, there's been hierarchy.
Absolutely,
it's an instinct. It's more an instinct than it is the government doing this or whatever. It's just how we are with each other. So that's what needs to be broken down before anything can change, is our the way we process being around one another.
Mm-hmm. But only being around each other shows yourself that we're all the same, right? Like I liked reading about the idea that you go back like 20, 30 years before like LGBT rights and all that kind of stuff, and like you might have like a dad or an uncle or a mother or whatever aunt, and they're like they're just white people, of course, invariably. Naturally. But they're like, oh, I don't agree with gay marriage. I don't agree with like trans people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's their daughter's gay, and their son is trans, and it's like, well, they love these people, and they realize like, oh no, no. What I'm saying is that when you put people, like if you just hung out with more black people, chances are you're gonna be less likely to be a fucking shitty racist. You know what I mean? Like
diversity is the key.
Once you put each other in groups, like, and you force each other to be around each other, you can find. You realize that you're all the fucking same.
I think in the end, there's always got to be an acknowledgement of something greater than us for us to bind together. We all think that what we're about is better than what someone else is about.
This is the Independence Day theory. I think you're kicking.
It kind of is. You know what? It kind of is. It kind of is. And you know what? I'm gonna shout out my buddy Rodney. He's got a great joke about this.
Shout out to Rodney, man.
Yeah, no, my buddy Rodney Ramsey back
Love
home.
Rodney.
One of the best jokes I've ever heard is like, you watch. The aliens show up, whatever form that may be. The aliens show up, and all of a sudden, Jesus and Muhammad, same dude. Right?
Juhammad?
Yeah, exactly. Judaism and Christianity, same shit. Give or take a vowel. You watch. Something bigger and stronger than us shows up, and you watch how quickly the shit fades away.
Yeah.
In the name of survival. And we got to figure out how to do that on a lower scale.
But again, it's...
You tell Rodney that's a good tag, though, the Jew-Hamid. Jew-Hamid. Tell Rodney that's a good tag. Good
no, but I
C-Mart.
think it is about not integration. That sounds sounds oppressive, but like it is about just being around people that are different than you.
Okay.
Like whatever that difference is.
That idea is great, right? But then there's so many examples right now. Let's just look to Europe for a second, all right? In Europe, they're dealing with...
You mean the continent is constantly being at war for thousands of years?
Hear me out. So in Europe right now, you have a massive influx, as it's stated, of refugees, and these types of refugees haven't ever lived in like Western style society, or European in this case. And so you hear things about like mass gang rapes and shit like that, and you're like, is this fucking being like predominated in the headlines as like just fear-based tactics? Like, what the fuck's going on there?
Predominated is not a word.
No.
Okay.
It's not a word.
Okay.
I'm gonna run.
I just want to stop the person Googling predominated right now. It's like,
predominated.
I actually looked at the word genericized earlier today because I was trying to I'm like, that is a word. That sounds
like the worst workout ever. Just genericized. Yeah. Oh my God. I just came back from genericizing.
With Billy Blanks.
Boy, are my glutoids tired.
Dude, just line up for a couple runs of genericize. Jesus.
It is a word, by the way.
Yeah, dude. Like, all I'm saying is it's like you see that though. You see that these populations are being like merged together, albeit for a good cause. Like taking in refugees is a very noble thing. But I think you see that some cultures are just like clashing pretty hard on some values, and I mean, I don't think it's out of turn to even say that like it's kind of fucking failing. Like, it's not doing really well. So they got to figure something out. And I think that's a weird anomaly to what you're saying. You know, because I agree that diversity is the key, but I think that's fucked up.
Okay, two things.
You can't go to Sweden and look at that right now and be like, that's kind of fucked up. Or Germany. Germany's probably a better example of this. Like, you look at Germany.
So I said two things. One thing is it doesn't happen on day one, right? Like, when that mother finds out
in the year 2017.
Yeah.
It's
what I'm saying is
happening.
when you find out that your son or daughter is gay.
Yeah.
And you're opposed to that on, whatever fundamental level that is. Yeah. Right. That's you repel that. You were like, no, that's no. And then you're like, no, I love that person.
Right.
I know that they're good.
So
and I know that this is fine. What am I talking? Why am I being? And you start to. Go down that path.
That's how that happens? Because I
think it's the opposite.
Totally disagree with you right now.
Okay.
I've seen a mother, I've seen a father realize what you're talking about. Their son is this, their daughter is that, and be like, well, you're no longer a part of this family. I've seen that more often than I guess love is love.
I don't mean gang up when you see her, but I agree.
I guess I've
seen the double down on that way harder.
To that is that I had read a couple, and I don't have them on hand to like cite as studies here. But the thing is that I had read a couple things that had said, on average, like opposition to LGBT kind of like all the shit that conservatives might be against is not as high anymore. Like they're more likely to be against, like they're more likely to just be like straight up racist now than they are to be like against that, because they've started to realize that members of their family are in these groups. So it's like, it's a slow, again, it's not week one. It's not even year one. It's like year 10. It's like, yeah, it's fine. But because we have all these populations of people, often they don't interact.
Do you think in this course of events right now, do you think we're in like year one?
No. I mean,
that model that you're describing?
Some people are. Some people are. People dealing with like new refugees and stuff like that. And
about influencers, people of like thought leaders, that type of thing.
I think thought leaders is a good example of people that will always be on year one. Like that's when because like the loudest voices, like it's easy.
Snuffed out.
Well,
some Nicky Barnes shit right there.
What I mean is that like I've been saying this like forever, is that like the internet is so dangerous in the sense that like you can go, as long as you have an idea, you can go online and have that idea not only validated but encouraged.
Start a podcast. Yeah.
And you can blossom. If you just hate people or like some sub selection of people, you can go online and find people that not only encourage that hate, but give you additional reasons to, and find new strategies to hate them.
Nurture your hate.
And it's like, and then you're like, you just can fall into this silo of this crazy attitude.
I think
you can also go the opposite way.
No, you're right. You could definitely, but like, I guess, okay, in the midst of all this, just to kind of bring this to a point, is
of which we have none.
Yeah, I know.
Which I don't remember C-Mart chiming in so much last time.
I'll settle down.
No. You know what's funny? This is a reality.
This is what happens after show 99?
Yeah. This is a reality, though.
Did I miss a meeting?
The reality is like,
too much talking over there.
Last few weeks we've gone home after the show, and on the walk home, C-Mart says like, I jumped in too much. I should have.
Yeah, and then I didn't listen to myself.
He says that every time, and I'm like, nah, dude, you're contributing. Like, as long as you make sense, who gives a fuck? Like, it's fine. Like, I'd rather you speak up than like feel like you can't talk. That's the worst. That's actually the oppression that we're talking about. That's actually the reality of it. Is like, dude, if you have a voice and you happen to have found it, and you have words that you feel like can contribute to something, fucking say it. Speak up and do something about it. The worst thing you could possibly feel is if you have something to say and you feel oppressed.
Like, you feel too afraid to say it.
That's right. And that feeling that you're talking about when you're like being suppressed, not just creatively, but just in growth, because someone else's guidelines for your life.
And knowing that, It's one thing if you don't even realize that, but if you just know you could be doing better, but because of your situation,
I mean, that must have been tough. When, like, I mean, you had to move out at that time.
Well, I'll move out at some point, right?
Yeah, but like
it was
kind of brought things to a head, though.
Well, I can either stay here or I can discover what I'm capable of. I mean, I knew I had to do something like that at a very young age. I just didn't know when I'd be able to do it, and I did it when I was able to do it. You know, the opposite side of not being able to say something that's on your mind because you're afraid of your surroundings is absolutely having no fear to say what's on of saying what's on your mind, but having nothing to say.
Oh, that's a good point. That's absolutely
that's ladies and gentlemen, is the downside of democracy.
That is absolutely a good. That's a
where we are right now. Everyone has a voice. Everyone can speak up, and there's greatness in that. Trust me.
A little bit.
There's greatness in that.
A little bit of greatness.
But there's a whole lot of bit of great. Now I'm hearing everyone, and not everyone has something to say that everyone should hear.
Not everyone.
Almost no one.
Yeah.
I think about I think about crowds. I think about crowds a lot. Like crowd mentality, crowd dynamic.
Yeah.
I think about the fact that like when we were doing mic check for this, we were harmonizing together. Let's just do it real quick. One, two, three.
Should we 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Whatever. So that's just so
that was like a bee whack.
Yeah. That was like a look, it wasn't religious. It wasn't chanty.
Look, it wasn't particularly good or bad, but what I'm saying is,
we had it before.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
But here's the thing.
I've been slouching.
So, probably because I just threw it on you. But like, here's the thing: if you and I harmonize like that, right? Two voices harmonizing together, that sounds good. If you and I just started telling our thoughts to each other, immediately talking over each other, that sounds fucking awful. So I think about crowd dynamics, and I think about like, say an arena, like 20,000 people in an arena or something, 40,000, 50,000. If all of them are harmonizing the same note, that's a fucking beautiful thing to witness, because it's like this group think mentality.
Strong enough to shatter glass.
Right. It's a beautiful thing, right?
Oh, true.
But then, if every one of the crowd is talking on their own timing, if everyone does their own thing, then it just sounds like
but that's democracy. Everyone doing their own thing at the same time.
That's exactly it.
Democracy, right?
It's really weird. So
there's intent there, right? Harmony is about intent. You are both trying to match each other.
Right.
Whereas if you're just talking, you're not trying.
True. You know what I mean? So
I hear that analogy. You're both saying things, but you're not trying to align.
Yeah. You're both trying to be heard, but no one involved is listening.
It's basically...
Exactly.
Democracy at times, especially lately, is basically a crowd trying to sing a song and no one has the sheet music. No one has the sheet music.
Well, we're also dealing, I think, with
that's what it is.
populations of people.
Thank you.
I hate you so much, but that's beautiful.
That's what it feels like, though, sometimes, because like there's very little, like I don't know, comeuppance.
I like that.
You know,
I like that.
I kind of feels like sometimes like there's a lot of energy there. A lot of people want to do a lot of things. A lot of people, some people are willing to even not have to be the lead. They just want to support. They don't give a fuck. But no one knows the parts. No one can be alto or soprano or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter because at some level, there's someone guiding the music, and that's what's really fucked up. Is you're like, you know, you don't know who's doing that for you. So rather than becoming like a human battery, which we are all essentially, these like tax batteries. We're all just walking around powering this motherfucker. Like, we need to figure out a way to have our voices actually recognized, you know? It's really bullshit when you think about it. If we can go back to the original point of having religion shape policy and how fucked up that is.
I don't want to go back to that point.
No. I'm wrapping it up.
Morose.
I'm wrapping it up. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
if you could, yo, easy.
Wrap it up,
easy. If you could bring it back to that point, though, it's just like the idea of one group just trying to control another. That's fucked up, man. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
It's what it is. Is what it's been since.
I know.
Since one person met another person.
So let's fix the world now. How do we do this?
We can't, man. Aliens.
Just give me to give up. That's
Aliens.
it. We can't. We need, we need is Jew Hamid. We need Jew Hamid to step up.
I can't remember what happened. Now, it's like something happened the other day. I think I was trying to organize. Like I'm heading down to Seattle in a little while, and we got some lodging set up, and we're gonna catch a Jays game while we were down there.
Okay.
And
like Blue Jays.
Someone in the group, Blue Jays game, and someone in the group was like, I don't want to sit there. You know, like we couldn't find tickets and lodging for 5 people, and we finally managed to make it happen. And like someone in the crew was like, I don't want to sit there. And in that moment, I was just like, would the aliens just come and fuck us all up already? You know,
you're so
like,
distraught.
I was just like, really? We made this shit happen, and you got a problem with the whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
Something you got a problem
2 bathrooms.
With something. It's like, would the aliens please come and fucking sit us down already?
There's something about that.
Hey, have you
we're
seen
such creatures of comfort.
Yeah.
And it's just weakening. You can't fuck with somewhere you don't want to be for a couple of hours, despite how hard it was.
Meanwhile,
to
your
get us
group
all
of
there
friends.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're thinking about like
I can't. I'm not remembering the details because I put it out of my mind. But I remember specifically being like, "We're fucking done. We're done. we're done, man. This kind of shit is an issue for human beings. The super species on the planet, and this kind of bullshit is a thing that gets us. We're fucking done. Just fucking take us already. Just zap us in the
Simon
phone
is all fucking uppity because he doesn't get his king size bed.
Fucking
well,
take us, man.
Well, let me ask you. Did you end up booking?
Yeah, of course we booked it, man. Because I'm a straight go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah,
I'm that
like,
guy.
dude,
I'm
you're
like, you a
dealing
bag
with
of dicks, man. You want to come, don't come. But it's like,
That's why it works, man.
There's so much of that
You're
around,
why it
though.
works.
There's so much of that around where it's not right unless it's perfect for us. You know? I want to be in the most absolute comfort place that I can be. Otherwise, I'm not living my life. Otherwise, what? What the fuck is the point? Where's our grit? You know?
You have a great grasp on that, though. You as a human, I've watched you over the years roll with the motherfucking punches.
Yo,
so
that's
hard.
what I'm from, though. That's the thing. I can't even take it as like, it's something.
Right,
That's
right.
what
But
I'm from.
But I mean, because I know that about you, I can also say that you and I equally probably know.
I'm a straight punch roller, man. Throw anything at me, I'll make lemonade out of it.
Well, that's
what the hell.
Okay.
The alternative is fucking eating dick. So
well, here's what I'm saying though. Is like
figuratively.
Allegedly.
No. Contrasting that point
to the dick eaters out there.
It's coming out of it's like asteroids.
Yeah. No, but contrasting that point for a second, there's I think because I can recognize that about you because you are like this resilient person. I think it's worth mentioning though that a lot of people are not. Those are not those people. You know, Those are like, there are people out there that do need to have a bit of that kick in the ass. But when you,
it's saddening.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, we want to front like we're a strong species of people, that we're coming together and that we got each other's back. But on the other hand of it, we're all individuals who just want to be as safe and as comfortable as we can, and not take any risks and not make any sacrifices for one another.
Yeah, but my man,
Independence Day, I've seen that movie. It's great,
brother. My friend Kwasi, but you're asking a table to be a chair. You know what I mean? Like, that's a table.
I'm asking people to be people.
No, but you could ask a chair to be a table. It doesn't, like, that's not
their
function.
A table,
that's not their function. That's not even what they do. That's not even what like that person isn't even aware. They don't have the self-awareness to know.
That word right there?
What?
Awareness. That is the key. That is the fucking
That's what I'm trying to say. They don't even have the awareness.
The amount of people who are walking around completely fucking blind to what's like their surroundings. Look at the driving situation in Vancouver.
Look at the scene behind. Can you show Kwasi? You know, we're out here. This giant bay window. The angle only kind of shows it, but like the idea
who they're around.
It's okay. Like it's there's
another fight going out.
No, yo. Our last.
Remember that shit?
Yeah. Our mini viral little love that we had there. You didn't pay someone to come fight this time, did you? No, it's good. that was the
I wish you did.
The execution after that. People were like, did someone pay Kwasi pay those homeless guys to fight the one-armed fucking dude?
The one-armed Asian guy.
Dude got slumped.
Yeah.
Slumped, son.
Oh, the one-armed 65-year-old Asian guy crushed the other dude, man.
He had it coming. He had it coming.
We all have it coming.
Riff, raff, street rat.
I don't buy that. If only they'd look closer.
What? You riff raff urchin. Yeah, that dude tried to rob that guy. Whatever. Anyway, Kwasi, you're a passionate guy.
I can be sometimes.
That's why I love chatting with you.
I'm passionate about. Like right off the top, I told you that I like all I care about for people. My people, your people, C-Mart's people, is progression. And we can't progress if we're right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can't progress if we can't see past this. If we can't see our fellow man, if we can't see how our fellow man or our fellow woman can help us progress.
Right.
You know? But that's where we are, because how can we be self-centered and how can we get everything that we want out of life without helping someone else get what they want? And nobody wants to fuck with that conundrum. Nobody wants that.
That's interesting.
No one wants to know how they're affecting other people if it means that they're being affected as well.
Negatively affected, yeah.
Why isn't there a political party that uses that as a platform?
Oh, it's called the Green Party, but they just joined with the NDP, so fuck that. I don't know if you caught that interview today.
It was a whole new thing. We're in a weird spot here.
There was remotely a party, but they just fucking bent over.
But they made some serious deal for the next 4 years. And everyone who listens right now doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about. There's been a signed coalition minority government in the British Columbia Parliament. So when they go to actually try and form a government, the current incumbent, the BC Liberals, only have 43 seats. And so because of that, after the recount, the remaining two parties have enough put together to make a majority. So we're going to have this minority government, but in a coalition sense. So I think you're going to see the NDP actually acquiesce a lot more to the Green than the Green to the NDP. I don't think it's going to go the way you're saying.
They have the swing, right?
They have the swing.
Because they could swing it the other way at their whim.
At their whim. I think the Green actually have, they might only have 2 seats, but they could.
They have 3, I believe.
3 now?
I thought it was 3 when I read it.
I don't know. Well, whatever the number is.
It's like 41 and 43, and the Green Party has 3. There's never enough to push either one.
There's never been an election this fucking close. Never been an election this close in BC history. So, and people are wondering why it even fucking matters we're talking about this, is because Vancouver has been like undergoing some massive fucking political upset shit in the last like 10 years. Like it's pretty gross, actually. The last 16 years, BC Liberals have essentially they've had a majority going into everything. They can do whatever they want. And now the Pipers come to call, and this is going to be very interesting because this is the city that's built of glass condos and real estate through the roof and foreign national money being thrown around like insane. And fuck yeah, they want to you know what? They want to make this Abu Dhabi. I can definitely see what they're trying to do by all means. And I think that like they want to make it this like premier destination. When they had the Olympics here in 2010, the amount of money being thrown around trying to beautify this place it was like, it's no joke. So we're like 7 years removed from that.
More so than beautify, they were trying to de-uglify.
That's right.
Because I mean, the city's beautiful as it is. They
exactly.
just had to get rid of a couple of sore spots.
Exactly. No, you're right though. But like that being 7 years removed from that process, we have a lot of those roosters coming home, and we're like, what the fuck are we gonna do with this now? Because like there are massive amounts of money that is being taken from public services, quote unquote public services, that are actually just piggy banks for the incumbent government. So when they're taking money from these public services, that the profits that are being generated from there just to supplement their budget, when they're not supposed to actually be that way, it's supposed to be these public corporations, and like you should be catching a check. Like in Colorado, the first marijuana year of legalization, Colorado residents were catching checks left and right because there's such a massive surplus. It's all unallocated budget. They don't roll that over into the next year. That's some bullshit. That's taxation without representation. You're talking about like the premise of why
they're giving that money back.
Fuck yeah. Good. And that's how it should be in British Columbia when you have things like the public insurance with ICBC. If your car insurance, if everyone's paying into it and there's a surplus at the end of the year, that surplus should not be used to budget the wild fantasies of the incumbent government at all. And that stuff is coming to roost. And I think you're going to see things like maybe more refunds back to the people, because you're going to see the Greens probably suggest that kind of stuff. That, or they're going to roll it into climate change, and you'll see a massive difference around here. It won't be no more fucking Hummers running around $45,
You're
startups.
So adorable.
I know.
Oh my God. Are you listening to this?
Are you going to really patronize me with this shit?
Oh my God.
What is it you feel it's going to be?
The exact opposite.
You think they're going to just business as usual?
Yeah, man.
I have too much faith that it's going to change. Like,
oh my God.
Well, okay. What
I believe the term is sweet summer child.
Yeah.
My sweet summer child. Yeah. No, but like,
what you're saying is what should happen.
Yeah.
But since when have we been in the business of should?
Well, okay, I guess I'm at this phase where I'm like, okay, like I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a young adult. I have I'm in my early 30s now. I've been waiting on someone else to make some difference and some change. So if part of that difference is just speaking the ideal of what it should be, that's what I'm trying to do.
Cool.
I hear you.
I understand that, putting it out there in that sense, just like putting it out in the universe, but.
Well, what good would here,
realistically speaking, you got to think about the hit that they're thinking about taking if they do something like that.
Like what?
Like cashing those checks, not rolling things over to the next government. Like basically the exact opposite of everything you just said. That's the way it is right now, and that's what's working. It's not working in the sense for everybody, but that's what's working for the people who matter. If I could use the
quote unquote,
colloquialism,
no, I hear you.
Right?
There's a fear there.
You're asking the people who matter to take a hit for the people who don't, for the people with podcasts.
Yeah,
you're asking those guys to give a fuck.
Yeah. Well,
so they can what?
Let's be honest.
So we can what?
No, let's be honest though. The three of us in this room are not fucking regular lives. Like we are regular people, but we're not like most people are not acting and doing stand-up and shit like that. Most people are not performing.
We're all actors.
Most people are not performing. Most people are not performing music and hosting podcasts and shit every week. Most people are not fucking making video games every week. Like those
this room is not. We are in the arts.
Yes.
Okay.
This room is not
people
the
who
representation of that. Is what I'm trying to say.
The liberal arts.
So like the idea behind this is that, if we are like to try and represent something positive in that, I feel comfortable with that. I'm also a realist though, in that I know that to date it has not been that way.
I think but the positivity that we can provide is strictly, okay, maybe not strictly, but I think we can all provide positivity, but it's very, very much our own personal battles, right? Like it's what we're up against realistically will only fall when it falls. When it absolutely shatters and the folks who matter, the folks at the very, very top, have no use for this way of life anymore because they're not making bank from it anymore. Realistically, it's going to fall when it falls. Not because you and I and C-Mart are trying to put out positive messages out there. But in the meantime, and in between time, until we get there,
right,
you can put out a track about what's wrong in the world. And people will hear it. And people will maybe want to go forth with their own personal battles. I can go on stage and talk about, you know what, maybe we should be aiming a little higher than just married, kids, job, death. Maybe we can do a little bit more with our time here on Earth. But that's still a personal battle. That's me going home at the end of the night saying, you know what, I said my piece. I see that there's something wrong in the world. You see that there's something wrong in the world. We went out there, we said our piece, and we went to bed. Hopefully someone will take that and spread it to 2 or 3 more people.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But we're in a system, man. We're in a freaking matrix right now.
Dude, like, I mean, I think you would know.
Like, you can't be serious. Oh, one day it's gonna shatter when mathematically it all goes to shit. But not because
numerically it always goes to shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's taking longer and longer to happen, but numerically it's gonna happen. And when it happens is when it's going to happen.
I don't even know what it looks like.
Not a second before.
But
no one gives a fuck about the positive message.
Well, I mean, that's troubling to hear you say that. Because
am I wrong?
I don't even think it's necessarily that you're wrong. I just, it's troubling to hear that because, like, I think a lot of people respect what you say. And so there's weight that comes with that you may not even be aware of.
No, I'm aware. I'm aware of what I'm saying. And what I'm saying, whether I'm right or wrong. And yeah, you know what? I want to take back the am I wrong part because that's completely up for debate. But it is what is true to me.
Okay.
It is definitely what's true to me.
Who could fuck with that? Yeah. Who could fuck with that? Like, because I respect the fact that you even
it's what I've been seeing. I'm about to be 35. It's what I've been seeing my whole life. It's what I've been seeing on a governmental level. It's what I've been seeing on a national level. It's what I've been seeing on a personal level.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I hear you.
Like, we're not all in the government, but we all kind of act like it a little bit as much as we can.
Yeah.
Whatever piece of superiority we can take from someone,
right,
we do. It's instinct, like we were talking before. You put 2 people in a room, one person's trying to kill the other person. How is that not government?
That's right. One group of
humans. Or
at
least lord themselves over that person in some capacity.
One way or another, exactly.
Yeah. One group of humans.
Someone's trying to be better than another person.
Yeah.
Always.
I think...
Not bonobos.
Yeah, because...
what do you do with that? What do you do with that ingrained mentality?
I think... Here's the thing. I'm kind of too aware right now of what we're...
That's almost the problem. Awareness is almost the problem because you and I could be walking through life honky-dory, fucking happy as shit, not aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
But we know what's happening.
It's just that I'm too aware. Happening. I'm too aware of like what we're doing right at the moment. Like the idea that this is going to be forever. Like this is like what we're putting out here is like on the internet.
I'm not afraid of that.
And
I'm not afraid of that at all.
I couldn't do as many episodes as I've done without being aware of that, obviously. But I'm too aware of the fact right now that what I'm speaking, I don't want it to like, I don't want to have that feeling later like, oh, I didn't say what I actually felt. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Say what you feel, man. I'm saying what I feel.
That's why,
right or wrong,
right?
Better or worse. I'm saying what I feel.
That's why I'm saying I'm disappointed to hear you say that. I do understand what you're saying though. I get it, but it's almost like I want the overall vibe to be optimistic.
Ask me another question then.
Right. Well,
we can switch up the vibe in a minute, man. But we're talking about this.
Nah,
this is how I feel about that.
I hear you. No, I hear you. I think I want. When I wanted you on today, remember I was like, hey man, I just feel like it's gonna get real. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Like everything we were just getting into.
Well, I mean, the show aside, you and me haven't powwowed in a while, man.
That's why I like.
We haven't.
That's why I like. Some people
had a jam out in a little bit.
Some people without podcast just have hangouts and shit like that. Yeah, exactly. But this is like good. We get to hang and like there's. The idea that it's being recorded and all that definitely adds this layer to it. But like, What?
Allegedly.
Yeah, C-Mart's too busy chiming in to press the record button.
Got a lot of work to do.
Figures.
It's the big red one, dude.
It's actually green.
Dude, we actually lost our birthday episode a couple weeks ago, and I was like, fuck, it's the first one we've lost in a long time. And it was just, we just didn't check it when we were doing it. We should have checked it.
I'm not, like, maybe we could end it on this note, but no one here should be afraid of what they're saying, because it's all, whether we're articulating it the way we want to, the intent is exactly how we feel today.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about, Kwasi Thomas. That's all I wanted this whole time.
Done.
Optimistic.
Done.
Yo, how did you know that your 15th rap album?
I was waiting the whole episode for the fucking numbered rap album joke. I'm not joking.
Yo,
we had to let it simmer.
I know.
It's
good. I'm just glad I got it.
How'd you know his 15th rap album name? A voice to be heard.
Yo. What you know about my 17th mixtape called How I Feel Right Now?
That's right.
What you know about it?
Brother, I love you, man. This is why I love you, man.
Don't tell me we're done.
I think we're actually wrapping it up.
Get the fuck out of here. We're done.
We crushed. What? We didn't even do any video reactions or anything.
Nah, we didn't do video reactions. You didn't ask me about my upcoming gigs. No, nothing, man.
Let's plug some gigs.
We just kept it hella real.
So real. I sent him
too real.
I sent him a JPEG of a razor, and I was like, "This is the edge we're walking on."
Okay. I wasn't even sure we were going with that. I was like, so annoying. It's so annoying.
So fucking terrible. All right,
you can edit that one out.
Let's talk some shows though. Yo, we got some shows coming up. What's going on?
Man.
What's going on, Killer?
I'm actually, like I said before, I'm heading down to Seattle. I tried to make it a day thing with a couple of friends, but had to stomp on a motherfucker.
That's an old fucking showbiz thing. They used to say, if you want to do a show somewhere, book a vacation.
All right.
That's it.
Oh, dude, I only have workcations. Like, I'm in a desperate need for just a straight up no work related vacation.
When are you going down to Seattle?
The 10th. I'm gonna be down there. My friend Jordan Curbs has been putting on some variety shows and some sketch comedy shows.
June 10th. What's the venue?
Oh crap. Something the soul food.
Kwasi Thomas, prepared podcast guest.
Fuck it. Look up Kwasi Thomas. I've got it posted all over my Facebook page and my soon to be revamped Instagram page. But I've got all the information up there already.
Good man.
So yeah, that's June 10th. I'm gonna go down there and MC and do some stand up at one of the sketch shows, and I'm gonna be MCing a weekend at Laugh Lines the last weekend of July, and I'm headlining. This is the one that I want people to come to. I want you to come to everything, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be headlining the same weekend I did last weekend of August. That's kind of like my jam. I love being the last show before everyone got to go back to work or school or whatever. So last weekend of August, 26th, 27th, if I'm not mistaken, at Laugh Lines in New Westminster, Vancouver, BC. I will be headlining the Laugh Lines Comedy Club.
Drinks, son.
Drinks.
You don't even know this time,
la,
right?
La la la.
Drink.
La
la la la.
La la la.
So, the nearest, second to nearest thing I'm doing is I'm performing a sketch show for Vancouver Film School. So that's going to be at 198 Cambie Street. Oh, no, sorry, 198 Hastings.
Hastings.
Yeah,
that's
Hastings.
Right, yeah. Other side, son.
Yeah, right. Crossing, actually.
Yeah.
Crossing. But yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, I got a bunch of things going. Come check a brother out.
I'm happy for you, man.
Thanks, dude.
I am happy for you, man.
I'm working, you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're so interested to do so, we'd love it if you leave us a review. You can simply do so by going to iTunes and
wonder what people have to say about what we're talking about.
There was some real violent venom
What does he know?
in the guest chair today. Ladies and gentlemen, we would love it if you leave us a review. If you do so, that helps us out big time. That helps us out almost more than anything else you can do for us. So we appreciate that if you do it. Leave us a rating. Even if it's negative, just let us know what you feel.
Take it.
I'd much rather know how you feel than...
as long as it's what you feel at the time.
That's right. If you take anything from
your
this...
truth at that moment.
Take anything from this podcast, goddammit. It's that if you have a voice, speak up and let someone know how you're feeling. Because...
and also know if you don't really have some shit to say. It's okay, too. It's okay to be the guy with nothing to say.
That's what the like button's for.
My favorite thing lately has been saying, I don't know. It feels so liberating. I'm just I don't know. I'm like,
and no.
Yeah.
You throw someone a no
and
watch them freaking crumble.
Yup. especially when all of their all of their next like 5 conversation branches were based on that. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been throwing pass around quite a bit. Like someone will pitch you something and you're like, pass.
Yeah.
And they're like, really, why are you passing? And you're like,
because I'm a grown man and I want to do it.
Yeah, I'm just like, pass. I half expected Kwasi to give me a pass on this podcast. Here we go. Now they're like, Kwasi, you want to do the podcast? Pass.
Oh, man, I gotta come through and sprinkle some sparling hate every so often, right?
Shit.
Yeah, dude, fuck Steve McGowan.
Oh, jeez.
Yo, Stevie's my boy, man. He's kind of like your retarded best friend that you just can't shit on, right?
Yo,
wait, what just happened?
My favorite part is this: is you haven't seen. Have you not seen the Fuck Stevie?
I haven't, but okay. I know Steve.
We'll play
I know
for you
Steve
after the
a
show.
long time, man. That's my brother.
We'll play for you after the show. You guys want to make sure to subscribe, make sure you share, comment, like, do whatever you want to do. But we are on Instagram and iTunes and YouTube and Stitcher and Soundcloud and wherever the fuck else you like to listen to stuff. And
Quastebook.
We're on Quastebook.
Quastagram.
Freaking
Quinder.
Easy there with your Quinterest.
Very specific dating app.
But you post your trinkets on Quinterest. I want to see your trinkets.
You guys
Queebay.
We
Kwasi stuff.
We love you guys so much, and I guess what we'll do is we'll just wrap this up by saying thank you very much for doing the show, my friend.
Jayme, MD, my brother, C-Mart,
always. And we'll see you guys next week. I won't mention our next week's guest because I want them to
know who
show
the fuck
up.
it is.
I want them to show up. All right, we'll see you later. All right, bye. Literal.